Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's tutorial, I will walk you through how to install Docker on a Windows machine. Whether you are a developer, DevOps engineer, or just curious about learning containers, this video will get Docker up and running on your system in no time. Before we begin, let's go get over a few system requirements which will be needed for your laptop. So in this video, we will be using the Windows laptop. Okay. So for Windows laptop, the first requirement is you need a Windows 10 or Windows 11 professional or enterprise version. Next is your Windows should be on the 64-bit processor and you should have at least 4 GB system RAM. This is the minimum hardware requirement for the Docker container to be run, or the Docker desktop has to be installed. Next is in your laptop you should have hardware virtualization to be enabled. Now how do we check whether your system is having 64-bit processors, 4 GB RAM, and what is your Windows version? How do we check hardware virtualization is enabled or not? So for checking these, what you can do is you just go to the search bar, type CMD and open it with administrator. You see, when you right click on this, run as administrator. Now for checking the hardware virtualization or the system info, or all the information regarding your laptop, like what is this processor, CPU, and the RAM, you just have to fire the command system info. As soon as you fire the system info command, everything you will be able to see it. You will be able to see what is your laptop version, whether it is Windows 10, 11, what is the system processor, 64-bit, or what is the total RAM it is installed on your Windows laptop. Okay, even you will be able to see the whether virtualization Hyper-V is installed or not. There is another way to check the virtualization, whether it is enabled or not. What you have to do is you open the task manager. Once you open the task manager, you will see this window. You just have to go to the performance, click on the performance. You have to go to the CPU. You have lot of information. You go to the CPU and down you will see the virtualization is enabled or not. Where I am pointing the cursor right now, you will be see virtualization is enabled or not. So this was the second requirement. Third requirement is you must have WSL enabled. How do we check WSL is enabled or not? Open your command line as an administrator. Just type WSL hyphen list. It will tell you Windows system for your Linux has no installed distribution. It is saying that your Windows system for Linux is not installed. That means I have a WSL enabled, but there is no the Linux VM or anything installed on top of this. When WSL is not enabled, you will get information something like this: the Windows system for Linux optional component is not enabled. Once you get that information, you just have to fire WSL install, and it will enable the WSL on your laptop. Again, all these commands has to be fired as an administrator on your command line. Okay, these are the prerequisites or the pre-requirement for Docker desktop to be installed on your laptop. Okay, now let's get started. How do we install the Docker desktop on your laptop? Go to the internet, type Docker desktop installation. You will get the first URL. Okay, you see, install Docker desktop on Windows. Click on that. Once you click on that, it goes inside and you will see many options: Docker desktop for Windows, Docker desktop for Windows x64 on Microsoft Store, Docker desktop for Windows ARM. You just have to click on the first one, Docker desktop for Windows x86 64. When you click on this, it will download the executable file. So now you can see I have downloaded the Docker desktop installer, which is it will take couple of minutes, depends on your internet speed. It is like 500 MB. You click on that. You have to run Docker desktop installer as a administrator. If you don't have admin permission, you won't be able to install it. As you can see, the after clicking on that, it has came up the pop-up and it is asking for the configuration. Recommended is use WSL2 instead of Hyper-V, that is already clicked. Allow Windows container to be used. Leave this, no need to check this. Add shortcut. Okay, you just click on OK. Okay, now it will start installing all the needed components, whether the Linux or Ubuntu or whatever is needed for the Docker to run on your laptop, Windows laptop. It will install everything. It will take a couple of minutes to finish the installation. Now you can see the installation succeeded because I had the WSL already enabled on my laptop. Okay, click on close. Installation is done. Now let's get started with how to use this Docker desktop. You type on the search button Docker. It will give you Docker desktop. Click on that. Now when you click on that, it will give you Docker subscription service. Now this is free for your personal usage, or the commercial use also it is free if your company employees is less than 250. So for your personal laptop it's definitely free. Click on accept. After you click on accept, it will give you the pop-up where you have to log in. So why this login is required? This login is, you can do the skip also, okay, but I would suggest you create a login. How do we create a login? Just click on create account, and this will create your account into the Docker Hub. I will go through this about this Docker Hub in next video, why this is needed and why this is useful to get the registered in Docker Hub. Okay, since I already have an account, I'll use my Google account and login. See, it's already authenticated. You just have to create an account in your Docker Hub and your Docker desktop will be logged in. You see, it has already kicked on, starting the Docker engine. That's it. Docker desktop is up and running. Now, since Docker has been installed, let's verify the Docker. Open the command prompt. You have to open the new command prompt. Existing command prompt will not show the Docker. So once you open the new command prompt, type Docker info. See, it will give you complete information about the Docker. Okay. Now next command will be docker hyphen version. It will give you the version which is installed on this laptop. Let's go ahead, run a sample container. So I have one sample Docker file which will run the Flask app on top of Python. Let's create an image first and then run the container out of that image. So how do we create an image? The first command will be docker build -t. Okay, let's fire that command. So now image building is going on. Once image is getting built, you will see the images present here. Right now there are no images. Now you can see the Docker image has been built. So fire the command docker images. You can see images, you can see in the local. Let's go and check here. In the Docker desktop also you can see the images, right? Let's run the Docker container. For that, command is here on the same GitHub repo. Docker run -p hello world app. Just give the image name and it will run the Docker. You can see the Docker is running. If you want to browse whether Docker is running or not, let's take this URL and browse it here. Docker is running. This was all about the Docker installation and creating the Docker image and running a sample container. Now the most common issues which you face into the installation of the Docker is, first is WSL is not enabled. For to run that as a WSL, you have to run WSL -- install. That will fix this. Next is virtualization is not enabled most of the time. Make sure that virtualization is enabled. If that is not enabled, you can go to the BIOS setting, and multiple laptops, different variety of laptops, means Dell, Acer, all the companies have different BIOS settings. So you can go into the BIOS setting and enable the virtualization. The last one is when you install the Docker, mostly you will be installing with the user. Make sure that you are installing with the administrator. Then only it will do all the setup automatically. I think that's it for today. You have installed the Docker desktop on your Windows and ran your first container. In next video, we will more deep dive into the Docker Hub, Docker images, and Docker Compose, and all the topics. Like this video if it helped. Comment with any errors if you faced anything, and please don't forget to subscribe. I will give all the links into the descriptions.